Alright, welcome guys to another Blender live stream. I'm your host Morgan Ozpin, and today we're gonna be once again animating this project on this stream while I talk in the background. You guys already know what's the gist. Yada yada yada. I'm gonna animate. Yada yada. I'm gonna talk, and we're gonna freaking finish this. We're already like exactly halfway through this final scene before I am done with all the animation bits for this freaking project. Then I can move on to all of the voice acting and stuff. And yeah, I guess with that being said, I'll just have to just work on this on the side. I gotta say that the only reason why I'm doing this stream right now is just to gather some footage of me animating this one particular scene, because I want to include a segment on my final animation wherein I show you guys some bits of stuff that I've done behind the scenes, just to give you guys an idea of how I was able to make this all in Blender. So yeah, that said, let's just go ahead and animate this. And by the way, as you can see, we've already done a lot of work here. Let me just move this to the side to give you guys some perspective of the work that's been in this project ever since. Oh, that's not it. There we go. Let me just show you the animation here. So we got this guy walking. We got this guy staring at this guy. He goes towards him. He goes for a pat on the shoulder. Says, "Yo, what's up, man? You good?" And then the guy is like, "Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'll give him go for the dap." There we go. And then they go for a freaking beer afterwards, like that. We still need to work on some of the scenes here. So, by scene I mean coloring and stuff. So, that being said, I guess it's time for us to work. Let me hide this. Bring these back. Perspective, and let's draw. Anyway, I guess it's time for me to talk about what I've been doing this past few days, which isn't a lot considering that the last time I've done an animation stream is just a few days ago. I recently watched Zootopia 2 with my family because it was a recommendation by my little brother to go and watch that film with the entire crew. But not gonna lie, I was also kind of excited to also watch the film on my own, because I heard that's like one of the best animated films out of Disney in a while. I mean, I guess the last good film that I've heard people talk about is Encanto, and I understand why that was a good film. I watched that on my own before, and I like the whole family dynamics behind the family of Mirabel in that film. It kind of reminded me of how in my family I also have like a parent that also wants me to be one thing, but I want to be another thing. You know, I have dreams, but my parents are like, "No, don't be like that. You need to act like this so that you can be a good model for your family and others who are looking towards our family for help." And I'm like, "Nah, man, let me be my own thing." And since I'm wording it that way, it does kind of now remind me of Spider-Verse in a way that, in the same way that Miles is like, "Yo, I want to be this thing, but everyone is telling me to be another thing." I guess it's now a trope at this point to have that one character that is like against being with the norms and traditions of their world. But it's a very relatable stereotype. Not gonna lie. Um, so I don't mind it if films try to do that. And I think that stereotype's too general to be considered a criticism for most films. So I kind of liked both Encanto and Spider-Verse for that. And as for Zootopia, I guess there is that same stereotype when it comes to Judy Hopps and how she wants to go against the rules to prove herself to be a good member of the police force, even if they've already done that in the last film. But I think what this film did good was that it did exactly what it wanted it to do spectacularly and nothing more. um, I mean, to me, when I think of Zootopia, I just think of the whole dynamic between Judy Hopps and the Fox character, who I'm sort of blanking out for some reason. Why am I blanking out on the name of the Fox character? um, but yeah, when I think of these characters, I think of with this movie, I think of, or the whole Zootopia franchise, I think of the whole racial relationship between Judy Hopps and the Fox character, and how they should work as a team to solve a case, despite their prejudice and beliefs as a character. Um, and based on the marketing material of Zootopia 2, I thought that this was going to be ignored completely. I thought that they were going to be focusing more on new characters along the way. I don't know. I guess the same way we have, like, with most sequels, they try to expand on like the lore of the world. Like, for example, Spider-Verse 2. Although Spider-Verse 2 are pretty much is still a good sequel. I still kind of have to criticize it for, or at least mention the fact that it does kind of expand on the world with sort of, how do I say this? It sort of minimized the whole movement that they were trying to go for in the first film, which is all about Miles Morales growing up as a person. I feel like that isn't really shown that much in the Spider-Verse sequel. And while I don't really fault the film for it, I do kind of notice it when I was watching the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse. And I thought that with Zootopia 2, they will also try to do something like that, where it tries to expand on the lore of the Zootopia universe while still trying to, while minimizing the whole thing that we love Zootopia in the first place, which is the whole character arc of Judy Hopps and the Fox character as characters. But with this film, I feel like they actually was able to nail a balance between what people would expect from a sequel, while still retaining the whole essence of what we love about the first Zootopia film. Because I feel like the whole conflict now with this film is how they should work as a team, both the Bunny and the Fox character, despite their own personal grudges, and they tackle it in a way that isn't as how do you say this? It isn't as metaphorical to racial slander when you see it in films like Zootopia 1. They try to tackle it more in a more personal level, which I feel like is a nice way to uh, approach these two characters, because I feel like when I watch Zootopia 1 in hindsight, it does kind of feel like I am watching some kind of agenda playing out while still trying to tell a story. And I don't mind that film for doing that. I feel like the story still excels this with the message that they're trying to portray about being, I don't know, being racist towards animals and stuff. Um, but with this film, I feel like they sort of dialed that down a bit. I feel like I'm just rephrasing what I've heard from Shafferless's review of Zootopia 2, but I essentially agree with his take that it does feel like a more watered down. The messages of Zootopia 2 feels more watered down, and in a good way, I would say, because I feel like the message of the film feels more incorporated into the story compared to Zootopia 1. Because this time, it isn't more so about a conflict between what these characters' prejudices are against each other, but more so about what their personal, like, beliefs are with each other. You know? I guess a good example of it is when you... it's when I think, who's a fucking... I need to search up the name of the Fox character, because for some reason I'm already like blanking out on his name. Hold on. I'm gonna open up Firefox right here. Fox Zootopia. Nick Wilde, yeah, Nick Wilde. When it comes to Nick as a character, we start to explore more of why he acts like nonchalantly throughout the two movies. Like, he confesses in this one film that the reason why he is always so distant when it comes to cases in their police force is because he doesn't want Judy to get hurt throughout this throughout their cases here in their work. And I feel like if this was if they're going to tackle conflicts in Zootopia 1, they would have, I feel like they would do something more grandeur, like, oh, the reason why I am doing this is because I am a carnivore, and carnivores how to say this? It doesn't feel like all I'm saying is that, like, with Zootopia 1, it feels very surface level, their whole character arcs, but not too surface level. There's still some kind of personal dilemma that they still have to go through in Zootopia 1. But with this film, it just sort of cranked up more the personal dilemmas here than ever before compared to the first movie, and I kind of like it for that. I mean, granted, I feel like they're still treading like the same waters when you compare it to Zootopia 1, but hey, it's like it's a formula that works, and they're able to find more refreshing ways to do it in this film. And speaking of refreshing things about this film, they were able to kind of give some good world building in this freaking world as well, when it comes to the design of the places and characters here. I loved it when they went to this freaking amphibian world, and it had all these creative freaking sets around it, like this walrus that will also act as a boat, or what is it? There's also like this little, I don't know, sunken ship that they come across that also functions as a hideout for this reptile kind in this film. And it's just a very creative film looking back at it. Not as creative as Spider-Verse, because I feel like the whole 3D pixel-like aesthetic seems too overdone at this point. But nonetheless, it's still a pretty solid film with great aesthetics to it, and visual design. And then what else is there? I feel like I also found a lot of memes in regards to Zootopia 2. I feel like there were too many people on X rooting towards the horse character for some reason. I mean, come on, guys, you gotta take your head outside of Morning Glory Milking Farm if you're gonna be watching this film, because there are children watching this in the theaters. Come on. But yeah, I see a lot of people gooning to the horse character. And I thought people would be gooning towards the gazelle character, but no, it's the horse character, which I guess makes sense. It does kind of remind me of some very suspicious tags on some very suspicious websites, if you know what I'm saying. And it does kind of reflect the whole book talk community in a way. With the whole character being a horse and all. But yeah, overall I kinda like Zootopia 2. I guess the reason why I'm not that I don't really have very strong emotions when it comes to my reactions to this film is because I feel like I've watched too many Disney films to know how they play out. And I still know that this Zootopia 2 is a very good film in and of itself. It's just that I feel like, on my own personal opinion, it just feels very Disney-esque, and I feel like I've just gotten too tired of Disney films in general, and maybe even like American or Western writing in general. And by Western writing I don't really mean like I'm just tired of the whole genre, a whole batch of media that came out in the West. It's just that I feel like there's this whole trope that's now being infested in most Western writing. I notice it can also come up in most, you know, in Eastern media as well. I also notice it in like Filipino telenovelas and anime as well. But I'm getting tired of this trope wherein a serious freaking scene would play out and they would try to sprinkle in some jokes along the way to make the film more lighthearted. It happened during the time when in Zootopia 2 when Nick finally saved a spoiler alert, saved Judy from this freaking poison, and I don't know, Judy saved Nick from falling off a cliff at one point in the film, and then all of a sudden they started confessing about their insecurities to one another, in a in a platonic way, mind you. Which I guess I should also give credit for the film. I feel like there isn't that much platonic boy-girl relationships in most films. I feel like when it comes to most media, I feel like if there's gonna be a boy and girl relationship, it's automatic gonna be, and they're like the two main leads. It's automatic they're gonna be like romantic uh, partners at some point if they're not related by blood. But this film was I kind of appreciate the film for showing us a good old platonic boy girl relationship. Um, but in this one scene wherein they save each other from eventual disaster, they started like having a little bit of a therapy session with each other, and I was thinking, oh, okay, this is pretty nice. I mean, it's kind of awkward, but confessing your inner insecurities does kind of feel awkward and shit. But then they had to follow it up with the snake character feeling all awkward and shit in the corner and thinking, oh, should I be watching this or something? Okay, I should probably leave, right? And I'm like, oh, come on, man. I mean, to be fair, I guess it's a kids movie, and I feel like there should be some lightheartedness to balance out the whole dark parts of what they're trying to tell in Zootopia 2. But I can't help but be reminded of how most, even in adult media, how they would always try to go for a serious scene, but they would always sprinkle in some jokes somewhere along the way to like drown out all the depression and shit. And I'm like, dude, come on, don't just let the emotions ride in. You don't need to act all nonchalantly if you're writing something as crazy as this. And while I do think that the film needed that, I just can't help but be reminded of some other media out there, other movies and TV shows out there that try to cancel out serious film with a bunch of gags in between. So yeah, that's my opinions of Zootopia 2. I went to that film just yesterday, actually, and I went there with my family. Well, actually, I had to like wait for my mom to get back from work. So I had to like take my little siblings out on my own. We caught a jeepney there to get to where we were, and then we waited at a bookstore while we waited for our mom to come over. And while we were in this trip, I came to realize that my little brother was also in some way actually into books right now, which I'm like, oh cool, I didn't know you were into books, because I don't know, it's not so often I try to crawl into his personal stuff. Because I want to give him some space to hang out with his friends while he's at school. But it's during this one outing that I realized that, oh, he's now getting into books. He recently, like, aside from reading a bunch of Five Nights at Freddy's books made by Scott Cawthon himself. He's 13, by the way, so we can't excuse him for being a big fan of Scott Cawthon. But aside from that, he's also getting into some books that some of his classmates wrote for his school's book writing club. Which, fun fact, I used to be a part of a book club at the school that he was at when I was a young boy. Because we all he's basically taking the same homeschooling program as I did when I was a when I was in high school. And I remember back then when I was a part of the novel writing club at this school, and I would I feel like the highlight of most of my days is just to go hang out with these bunch of guys and girls that also like to write books and talk about uh, books they've read while hanging out in a cafe that isn't Starbucks, surprisingly. um, but yeah, that was like the highlight of most of my days there in the novel writing club. Uh, it's a shame that I haven't actually made a or finished a novel while during my stay there in the novel writing club, but I kind of appreciated my whole stay there in that club. I really ignited my passion for writing in a way, and I guess that's the reason why I, yeah, even up to now, I still kind of take into consideration how I write the scripts for my animated films and video essays here on this channel. And it's all thanks to that novel writing club that I was able to kind of get a little bit of some experience when it comes to writing. But anyway, my brother is into freaking reading now, and he recently read a book from one of her classmates. I don't know what it's all about, but I came to realize that this one classmate of hers actually was able to get this book published by some press that's made by the school itself. I don't know how they were able to get a printing press made in the school, but this freaking book is so professionally made. It had like it's not a hardcover, but it is a soft a legitimate soft bound book that you can like read and shit. And even though it's a very flimsy book that's very thin and all, it's a much better made book, judging from its cover, compared to the freaking, I don't know, the freaking Microsoft Word doc that's still sitting in some old computer I used to have somewhere. But yeah, I kind of want to see if this passion for writing would carry out throughout his high school days. Because not gonna lie, guys, I feel like writing is a very it's a very hard hobby to continue liking, because you don't normally find people who are also into writing. I guess this is based on my own experience, but I don't normally see people, especially now, that likes writing as much as I do back when I was in high school. And I feel like if you want to get into a hobby, you need to be part of a circle in a way. And I don't know, I guess in the Philippines it's really hard to find people who are also into writing. Or maybe I'm just not finding circles finding the right circles, because when I was in high school, I feel like my dad kept on dragging me to people who likes sports more than writing, because he wanted me to become like an athlete when I was a little kid. But still, up to now, I still kind of don't know where to find writing circles here in the Philippines. Maybe in some school, maybe you'll be able to find people who also likes to write in this country. But if you're like a grown-ass adult like me, I feel like your best bet is maybe, I don't know, Manila International Book Fair, maybe. But I feel like if you're gonna want to start a writing discourse there in a convention, you might as well already have like a group that's also into writing as much as you do. because you just can't go to a random convention and just go, yo guys, you want to talk about books, you know. um, so yeah, I don't, and plus, you know, conventions, they're also not a daily or weekly thing you can just get into. It's like, especially with the Manila International Book Fair, that's like a yearly thing. And the last time I went to that one specific book fair, they were only like selling textbooks for some reason, which is like not fun. Why is I think it was back in 2022 when I attended my last Manila International Book Fair, and compared to my last outings in that convention, there were 0 booths there that were like selling any fiction books, which are like that's where all the fandoms grow, right? That's where all the people are at. The fiction genre, not the non-fiction books. I mean, kudos to the people who write the textbooks for educations and stuff, but why? but the Middle International Book Fair would be incomplete without all the fictional writings of authors that actually is where the reader hobbyists are at. So that's why I think getting into writing is a very hard, or reading could be a very hard thing to get into here in this country, unless you are an internet savvy guy that would be willing to hop into a forum and talk about stuff with strangers online on the internet. But if you wanna find an actual third place to discuss about writing and reading and writing, it's very hard to find it here in this country. Unless you're in a school that just maybe has a library or is bi-monthly setting up a book fair somewhere in their campus. Which I think the reason why I got into writing is because when I was in middle school and before I got into a homeschooling program, my freaking school always sets up these aside from libraries, they also set up these scholastic book fairs every now and then just to get people or kids invested in the act of reading and stuff. And I guess that's what's really severely lacking now in this day and age, especially in the Philippines, is a freaking book fair. I actually don't know if schools here are even still doing book fairs. I feel like I mean, I have like 2 siblings that are still in middle school and one that is in high school, and I don't hear from them about any book fair happening in their schools. So I'm like, what the frick is happening right now, man? Kids need to read. At least give them an ebook reader or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm saying that as if I'm reading right now, but in reality, I haven't read a book in a while. Aside from maybe the textbooks that my college assigned to me to get into the subject of Rowan genealogy or prosthodontics or something. But you know, someone needs to change that about society, I guess. But anyway, back to this trip that I had with my family. Eventually, my mom came visit us at the bookstore where we were waiting for her. We watched the movie before we ate dinner. Which is a bold choice coming from my brother, who had the last say of what our plans will be for tonight. And then I don't know. I guess we had a hot dog and some popcorn while we watched Zootopia 2. And then we noticed that we still had some time, so we ate outside. We went to this little restaurant that was selling a lot of some Filipino food. I ordered some sisig with a side of rice, and my mom ordered a platter of pancit bihon, which is this thin rice noodles topped with some beef or pork bits, carrot bits, shrimp bits, and all. It's not palabok, if you guys are wondering. That's a different. If you are like familiar with Jollibee, this is definitely not palabok. Palabok's a different Filipino dish in a way, but it does kind of use the same type of noodles. It's just that pancit bihon is just a different dish compared to palabok. But anyway, I had palabok and sisig at this restaurant. It was pretty mid, I gotta say. I mean, I kind of like the sisig. No one can ever make a bad sisig in my eyes, but compared to all of the sisig places I've been at around this country, I feel like the sisig in this place was like the most mid. Like, it's even more mid than the sisig I get when I just go to a local mom and pop carinderia here in this country, which, you know, it's just an independent restaurant run by, I don't know, some people who just decides to sell a bunch of food in front of their house and stuff like that. That's basically just what carinderia is, and I feel like this restaurant sisig is more mid compared to that. But I still enjoyed the meal, and we went home afterwards, and we were back home by around, like, I'd say 12, not 12, 11 in the evening, which is, I guess, not late in my standards, but I could have wished I slept I slept earlier, considering that for the past few months I have been staying up late non-stop just to catch up with my requirements at school. And now that I'm on vacation, it's probably time for me to catch up on my sleep schedule, but I can't do that now because my freaking this freaking outing made sure that I have to sleep like later in the evening. I don't know, so maybe I'll catch up on my sleep schedule at some point. Maybe be able to sleep early in the morning, early in the evening, as Christmas break keeps going. And now we catch up to today, wherein I woke up this morning, had a little bit of did some of my morning stretches. I began my day by just sifting through the Newgrounds forum, the Newgrounds website, because ever since I started playing a bunch of games on Newgrounds on my last stream, I kind of wanted to get back into the world of web and flash games. I went back to playing Plinko's Bomb Defusal, that one game that I played on a last stream that took an entire that took the entire second half of my stream to to finish. And I think I got like I got a high score in that game amongst all the other Newgrounds users who also played it. I think I was able to rank like 13 overall when it comes to the fastest bomb defusal run in that game, with a time of 12 seconds to spare. And I think I'm already like 13th place overall when it comes to Plinko's bomb defusal, which would kind of give you an idea of how much my reaction time has improved ever since I started playing Plinko's bomb defusal. In fact, I don't know why, but after I played a little bit of Plinko's bomb defusal, I just started becoming more energetic throughout the day. Like usually when I wake up in the morning, I would follow it up by taking a nap like later in the afternoon. But after playing this game, I don't know why, but my body's like, no, not Morgan. You still have a lot of energy to keep going. You can skip the freaking afternoon nap if you want to. This freaking game is just I don't know. It's just like, I don't know, like putting my focus up by a lot, I think. And you can only thank the game for that. And then after playing that game, I don't know, I just started looking around the Newgrounds catalog of Flash and web games. I can't remember if I played anything notable while I was playing it offline, aside from just playing more Plinko's bomb defusal. But after playing a little bit of some Newgrounds games, I decided to check out another site that's also well known for hosting a bunch of games, and that is itch.io. Now, if you guys don't remember what itch.io is, it's the same website that I used to play Dungeon Raid, which is this one game I liked during one of my past streams, and I thought, okay, so if this game, this site can get me so addicted to this game, why don't I go and check out their other games? And while I was sifting through their web games, not their download games, because I just wanted to get a little bit of a taste of what the modern scene is right now on itch.io. While I was like looking through their games, I stumbled across this game called Minecraft, and I'm like, what the wait, Minecraft? You mean the most popular game of all time, the most best-selling game of all time? What is it doing here? Because to my own understanding, I know that Minecraft kind of has its own dedicated launcher for it to run, and it's owned by Microsoft. So why is it doing here in freaking itch.io? And it turns out this isn't actually made by Mojang. It's actually made by some person named Eagler Craft, I think. And what this guy pretty much did was just import Minecraft version 1.8 into a web browser. And I'm like, what the fuck? How was he able to do it? Now I know it's definitely not the latest version of Minecraft 1.8 of Minecraft. As far as I can tell, I mean, there's no aquatic update to this game or a nether update to this game. But still, it's Minecraft 1.8. That's basically the same version I remembered. Minecraft 1.8 is like the version I grew up with while I was back in like 2016 when I was watching, you know, Sunday and Craner playing Sky Factory, and I have some fond memories of that version of Minecraft. So I decided to play Minecraft version 1.8 in the web browser of all things, and not gonna lie, it actually runs pretty well. It's It's actually I don't know how they do it. I think how they did it was that it's being run by a server, so most of its resources are being run outside of my computer, so there's not that much lag happening when it comes to my laptop, and it ran pretty well. I was able to, like, I don't know, just make a crafting table, explore a cave, make some uh, get some coal, eat some chicken and all. It's actually a very functional version of Minecraft. I can't believe it. Um, and I don't know if I wanna show it on stream, considering I don't know whether this is legal or not. The only thing that's missing from this game is the soundtrack by C418. When I was playing the game, all I'm hearing is just the Minecraft sound effects and nothing more. And I feel like the whole game experience would be much more in line with the original Minecraft game if they could just get Minecraft's uh, best composer to make some import some of his music into it. But overall, the whole experience is basically just Minecraft on the web browser, and I kind of want to play more of it offline, and maybe even on stream, maybe? Question mark. I don't know. I don't know if it can run well on stream, considering that I still have to import. No, not import. I still need to, like, run a bunch of other apps outside of my web browser for that, like OBS and the face tracking software for my VTuber model. But overall, it's a pretty good port of Minecraft on the web browser. Granted, there may be some legal ramifications to having Minecraft run in the web browser, because if I could remember, there also used to be a Minecraft jailbreak version at some point on the internet that was also running on the web browser, and I think Notch himself was the one who actually took it down himself. So I don't know what would Microsoft, Daddy Microsoft, would do if they noticed Mr. Eaglecraft here doing some shady stuff in Minecraft on the web browser. But other than that, I kind of like the game. It's just Minecraft on web browser, guys. I mean, come on, it's fun. Um, and then aside from playing, definitely not Minecraft, I also played this one indie game made by the same guys that made Dungeon Raid from back then, called Card Constructor. And from my own understanding of the game, it kind of reminded me of Slay the Spire when it comes to its user interface. You go through a bunch of these mobs by laying down a bunch of cards, and the way you kill these enemies is by setting up these cards. But these cards are like but when it comes to these cards, you can, like, you can customize the stats for each of the heroes that you can place down on these cards. So say, for example, you have this freaking knight card on your deck. This knight card would say, oh, you can only use this for 2 turns, and this knight card can be used to slay the first enemy in a row. But the thing that you can do in this game is that you can customize its health bar, its attack status, and the number of turns that it can attack on its own. So it adds this little bit of planning when it comes to laying down these cards, and some logistical planning, because the whole goal of this game is to slay the final boss at the end of these these hordes of mobs, while still trying to maintain your health and collecting all the resources you need to slay this boss. So anyway, it does kind of remind me of Dungeon Raid, where you kind of have to catalog and how do we say this? Plan out, I guess. Plan out how you approach an enemy as you get deeper into the dungeon. And I kind of like it for it. I kind of want to play that game once more. Once again, 4Cat Studio actually made a game that I want to play again. Although one thing that I can criticize 4Cats for now is that ever since their August updates of Dungeon Raid, they didn't really do anything in the game ever since. They still only have 2 classes when it comes to Dungeon Raid, the Vampire class and the Berserker class, I think. And that kind of sucks. I want to find to play more of that game in different modes. You know, maybe include a class that would make it so that you can only attack last when you approach an enemy or something. But either way, 4Cats is just making banger after banger when it comes to indie games. Can wait for them to do more, I guess. And I just noticed that I made a freaking color, a color splash here that is not linked to any freaking layer here. What the freaking? Oh well. Let's move down to this layer. Let's make. Not make. Get this guy here. Make a new layer. A new frame, keyframe, and let's color this guy out. So that's all I've been doing. I've been playing some games, watched Zootopia 2. I was also thinking of maybe watching a bunch of Netflix shows during the duration between the last time and during the last time I streamed and the present. But I remembered that I don't have my freaking Netflix subscription anymore. And some other games that I played in itch.io. I guess now that I've explored the recent catalog in itch.io, I came to realize that there are just so many free games in that website that could be like a potential source for me when it comes to some future Let's Plays I want to try to do in this channel. I see a lot of horror games there, surprisingly enough, for this run of games, and I kind of want to play more of those games at some point in the future. So if you guys want to see more games, want to see me play more games in this channel, let me know. Because I want to play games, even if you guys don't want me to. It's just the indie game scene right now is just pretty fucking great. Not gonna lie, guys. I mean, I know that's been great ever since. I've heard like voice criticals say something about the indie scene in some Game Awards video he did a while back, but it's only now that I actually understand what he means when he says, "Yo, the indie game scene is just so chock full of content and stuff that's so entertaining for me to play." I can even see myself playing this offline if I wanted to. And then I kind of appreciate itch.io is making it more affordable for game developers to to get into game publishing in a way, get their game out there as fast as possible without ever how do you say this? Without ever worrying about the ramifications of trying to get it be approved by some head executive that may or may not like your game idea. That's what I like about freaking itch.io right now. And it's sad to see that's not getting as much recognition as, say, Steam. Because I feel like Steam is, I like Steam as a company. I always see that whenever I open up Steam's my Steam program here on my computer, they would always have a sale going on when it comes to some of the popular games that's being sold there in their platform. But you guys have to like put some more attention to itch.io here. And itch.io, while they don't have as much good deals as Steam, they at least have some practices that a freaking game developer would like. Like, for example, something that I like about itch.io is that there's like no fee you need to pay up front just to get your game up into their site, compared to like Steam, wherein I think you need to like pay once to like get a game up in their freaking platform, which I guess is not a good compromise compared to, say, getting a subscription service to host your game up front to your store. But I feel like itch.io's approach to video games is just to publishing video games is much more better compared to Steam, which I guess the reason why I guess there are now a lot of games I want to play there in the site. And not to mention, because of how small itch.io is right now, I feel like I'm getting more stuff that don't really see that much in the mainstream spotlight. Like, for example, all the horror games I've been seeing there, like Night Watch, or I'm forgetting the name, but I think it's called Night Watch, right? It's like, or Night Tower. It's like in their like featured games list right now, and it's a free game you can download that looks like a horror game with a unique like PS1 aesthetic. I'd like to play that at some point if it means getting some good shit here in this in my games catalog. But yeah, I like how itch.io is just a community of indie games that you don't usually see in the mainstream spotlight, but here they are, and you see that even even if they're not that popular, they still sort of churn out bangers in a way. But yeah, that's my opinion on itch.io. It's actually itch.io right now. They're like the main reason why I feel like I'm getting this little little urge to actually get back into game development in a way. I want to like make a 3D game at some point. Not a very complicated 3D game, but maybe, I don't know, like a horror walking sim horror game or something, or maybe a simple game like Plinko's Bomb Defusal, where your goal is to just complete a bunch of mini games in a short amount of time. That's also a very fun thing to make. On Godot. I just need to figure out how to like shrink my assets down to a point that it can all be summed up to a game that's less than 755 megabytes big. Which is the game, the size of my game, Hellibird Wild Skies, when I finally finished it. Which I don't like. I don't think a game should be that big. I played a game that's just basically just a space shooter. But yeah, I guess that's about it. Okay, let me just complete this frame before I start rambling again. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, I guess another highlight of my week is that I have been surfing through the Newgrounds audio portal right now. And I think one song that caught my attention was this one made by... What was the guy? I don't know how to even play this thing. Let me see, it's where is it? Where's the Scrubs? Scrubs, are you? I'm a little older? No. What is it? Was it like this freaking... Let's search up Scrubs in Newgrounds. Ah, here it is. It's made by 4Cat. What the frick? Okay, so this guy's the artist's name is coincidentally 4Cat, which I feel like it's not the same studio behind the games that I like in in itch.io. But this guy 4Cat made a made a freaking video, made a song in Newgrounds called Scrubs This. And I think that's just a video, no, a music about his opinion on an old show called Scrubs. Now I don't know anything about freaking Scrubs, the TV show, but I was just like listening to a bunch of Newgrounds freaking audio on autoplay in the background, and all of a sudden his track came up, and it's just his freaking song is just him ranting about how Scrubs is a bad show while putting up all of these freaking nice tunes in the background. Just think of like all of those like Starbomb albums or those Ninja Sex Party songs wherein, you know, it's a pretty good song in and of itself, but then you hear the lyrics and like, okay, this is like the funniest shit I've ever I've ever heard. And that's basically what this song is all about. I can't play it on stream because I'm looking at the freaking licensing terms here, and it says here to contact him if you like, if I would like to use his project for stuff. So I know, I guess I can't play it right now, but yeah, if you want to listen to that track, go to newgrounds.com and search up Scrubs This. Scrubs This, like DISS. It's just a very funny song. You know what? While I'm working on this, I'll just go play this in the background on my earphones. You guys won't hear this, but it's it's a pretty funny track. Not gonna lie. Maybe just make sure desktop audio is turned off, and just to make sure, I guess I'll monitor my stream's audio while I play this on my own side here. Let me see.
There's something I've been...
Oh god. My freaking earphones was unattached while I played this. Okay. There we go. Oh yeah, here we go. Scrubs is a plan. Oh my god. You guys can't hear it, but I'm listening to the Scrubs disc right now. And they're somehow able to incorporate the word asshole into the song. Scrubs is a bad show. Scrubs gets me out. Scrubs is a bad show. Dang, this song kind of made me realize that I kind of missed this one whole era of YouTube wherein it's all just people making a lot of parody songs. I mean, I guess it still exists today with Brian David Gilbert, but I don't see it as much in YouTube anymore. Again, the song ended. I might as well close this tab off. There we go. If you're ever gonna go visit Newgrounds right now, might as well warn you guys that there is some freaky stuff that happens here sometimes. And not freaky in a legal way, but more so like, you know, in an Adult Swim way, you know. There are a lot of experimental stuff in Newgrounds that may disgust some people a little bit here. Like for example, I'm like looking at the freaking Newgrounds homepage right now, and the top animation here by P-Bot is made by P. Finney called POV Squishy Joe offers you knockout milk, I think. Oh no, offers you a glass of warm milk, and I watched that earlier today, and it's basically just this guy trying to get you to partner with him in a business venture where he sells his titty milk to the cast of judges in Shark Tank. And it's a very ridiculous premise, not gonna lie, but yeah, I can see why people would not like that premise whatsoever. But I kind of appreciate it for how weird and funny it is. And if ever I feel too tired of all the YouTube YouTube tropes happening right now on this site, I would just go to Newgrounds and just have an Adult Swim experience here without actually watching Adult Swim whatsoever. Just that, you know, in the animation, music, games, they're just golden, man. You just need to find the right places like Newgrounds to find them, or itch.io. Oh god. Okay, let me just draw the color of the glove here. Of course, in Newgrounds, there will also be some stuff that I feel like could be made in a Hollywood animation studio if you really wanted to. Like, for example, I also found this one pilot in Newgrounds called, what's it called? Cassandra Complex, right here. If you go to the movie section and you go down to this video called Cassandra Complex, there's a trailer for a mini-series here. It kind of has this unique aesthetic of being like a gothic, romantic mystery, I think. And while it's not entirely finished just yet, I am noticing how great the visuals are, and I can't wait for the whole series to be published at some point. Oh, okay. Oh, I just cracked my neck there. Okay guys, another reason why I'm streaming today instead of tomorrow. So I was originally planning because usually I stream every other day. The reason why I'm streaming today rather than tomorrow is because I'm gonna go biking with my mom tomorrow, and I don't know if I'll have the energy to go streaming after I do a long bike with her. We'll be biking all throughout NCR, so it's gonna be a long bike for me tomorrow. Wish me luck, cause it's gonna be a long bike ride for me. Maybe it won't be a long bike ride, cause I don't know why, but most of the time when I tried to plan on biking on my own time throughout the later half of this year, I would always catch my bike always being hit with a flat tire or something. And that's before I hit the road and stuff. So what is actually happening is that my bike just slowly loses air as I let it stay in my garage for a while. And I think that's something to say about how these tire manufacturers are really making the longevity of these tires. But yeah, it's really hard to maintain a bike nowadays, and I don't even know today if my bike is ready to go out right now. Even though I've like used it like 2 days ago, technically. I used that bike 2 days ago to go biking around the city here. I still have that vague feeling that it's slowly losing air as I stream here on this freaking platform that is YouTube. Like to me, I feel like tire manufacturers of these bikes are like slowly diminishing some costs when it comes to the production of these bike tires, and slowly making it so that the longevity of these tires when it comes to taking in all this air is actually diminishing in a way. So I don't know, this freaking bike that I have would last long before I have to like repair it and such, which kind of suck. I want a bike that could last like at least 10 years or something before I want to go and take it to a repair shop or something, or heck, even like, I don't know, like 3 years or a year, in fact. But I had this bike for like a year now, and I had to like take it to a repair shop every like month or something, just because of a freaking flat tire most of the time, or a chain that is loose. And I thought it would last a long time, but oh no, it always has to break down every now and then, which sucks. And it's not like I'm exposing this bike to some rough terrain or something. I'm just using this mountain bike to go around like a bunch of well-constructed roads and shit. I guess the most I've ever had it. I had this bike experience some rough terrain is through a large incline in a highway or something, but other than that, it's just very fair game when it comes to the environment that I exposed this bike on. And heck, this is a mountain bike. This bike is supposed to last forever, especially under normal terrain like a highway or a road. So I don't know what's happening with my bike. My bike must be a very cheaply made bike, made with the most cheapest of materials or something. But anyway, the one thing I dread is if ever I would be biking one day in the middle of nowhere and all of a sudden I would just get a flat tire on my bike every now and then. I would sometimes catch myself in those kind of situations. I remember one time I would be biking in the middle of Manila Bay. Like I'm very far off from home when I was biking in Manila Bay, and as I was biking through the bay walk, all of a sudden my bike would suddenly like have a chain loose when it comes to its gears, and I had to like stop because I can't pedal with a chain loose in one of my gears. So as a person who has no experience repairing a bike, I didn't know what the fuck I should do. So I had to like freaking fumble around this change just to get it to work again. And thankfully I was able to get it working, but my god, the dread I had felt while trying to repair this bike in the middle of Manila Bay had me wishing that this bike can last a long time before I eventually have to put it in a repair shop or something. I can imagine if I wasn't able to repair that freaking bike. I have to like walk. If ever I haven't was able to repair my bike at that day, I would have had to walk like a couple 100 miles just to get back home or something. Or I don't know, take a train maybe, I don't know, or a jeep. But I don't know, every time I see like a biker try to bring his bike into some kind of public transportation here in the Philippines, it never really leads to the most normal of encounters. Because I remember one time I was like commuting from school, and this one biker decided to hitch a bus to go to some destination. And when the bus finally reached its stop, the bus started opening its doors. But oh no, this guy had his bike leaning towards one of the doors of this freaking bus, and the bus's doors had to like fold inwards to open. But as the doors automatically open, it hit the side of the bike, and it started to like go haywire, this freaking door, because it wanted to open inwards, but this bike is blocking it from doing said action. So as a result, I think this door of this bus suddenly broke in the middle of my vision, and I had to walk out of the bus because it was basically already my stop before I catch a glimpse of the bus driver putting these eagle eyes on the biker that was desperately trying to get this bike unstuck from the bus's doors. You know, it's a very awkward conversation here. I don't think our freaking public transport here in this country is built to accommodate bikers who just want to hitch a ride in case they're like lazy or something. In fact, I don't think any of our public transport is built for anyone that may have some special needs or special disabilities. Especially when it comes to wheelchairs, to people who are using wheelchairs and stuff. I would sometimes catch glimpses of like a train here in this country having like a dedicated section for people who may be riding on wheelchairs when catching a ride in this train. But when I look at where or how these stations are set up, I would think to myself, how would they even accommodate these these people with disabilities? Because most of the time our train stations here in this country are like either above or below ground, and the only way you can get to these freaking stations are only through stairs, and occasionally elevators, but these elevators would sometimes be either overcrowded with people wishing to just get to the station as fast as possible, or these same elevators are out of order because they're either like under renovation or something. So either way, these public transportation options for people with disabilities are like negligible because they're not built for them in the first place. And I always find it sad that if you ever like go for an accident and you're struck with this lifelong disability in your body, you probably won't be able to function correctly when it comes to or travel the same way, considering how we set up our public transport here in this country. But yeah, it's sad, I guess. Just finish this up. Let's all have this freaking white mark here. Huh? There we go. Okay. I'm checking every now and then to see if the stream is working. That's why I'm freaking pausing every now and then here in this freaking live stream. to just finish up this line here. It's not connecting to the glove. Oh my god. I'm listening to myself now here in the live stream, and I sound like a freaking lunatic trying to hum with the notes in my BGM right now. It's usually this freaking latency issue. I like listening to like the past few seconds of my live stream. Meanwhile, you guys are like listening to like technically the past in a way because of this latency. Because I'm listening to this song in the present, but you guys are only listening to this song at around at a delayed period, hence why this is kind of a little bit of a pause every time I try to react to your guys' chat. Because I'm basically living in the past right now, and you guys are in the present. That's technically, I guess, that I guess is how I would try to describe the situation of my live streams right now in layman's terms. Alright, let's go. Take this. I guess a goal that I have right now when it comes to what I want to achieve during Christmas break is to, I don't know, just discover some indie media that I haven't really explored in a long time, like some websites, some games, some music that are made by small creators that just want to make it for the sake of it. All the while trying to finish this freaking animation because, oh my god, we are almost done, guys. Look at this. But yeah, I kind of want to make it a point that for the month of December, I'll try to put my feet more into some stuff that isn't really being talked about in social media, like indie games or animation on Newgrounds or itch.io, and see if I can find something that's a hidden gem in this sea of trash that is being recommended to me in the YouTube algorithm. So yeah, that's my goal right now. I mean, because I mean, you know, what would I do if I just don't do anything? You know, that's why I find something fun to do. And as of now, the mainstream stuff that I'm looking at right now just doesn't feel that fun or entertaining to me. It's this. Okay, cool. Just go ahead and if you guys have any questions in regards to what I'm doing right now or anything about this channel or me in general, you can leave it down in the comments if you want to ask me anything. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I have to say thank you guys for showing some support when it comes to the recent short I created for for my Kuromi time lapse I did a while ago. I think this is like my 7th short this year that has hit like 1,000 views. Which is, I think, not normal for me, considering that I think the last time I had this much views was back in 2023, and I don't really look that much into view count because I know it doesn't really matter in the end. When it comes to monetization or just making art in general, but not gonna lie, it sometimes gives me a dopamine hit whenever. Whenever YouTube Studio gives me confetti, whenever a video or short gets a 1 out of 10 in the YouTube algorithm. Oof. You know, speaking of which, I always sometimes ask myself whether I still do this for the love of the game, or if I'm just doing this just to get higher numbers in my freaking videos and stuff. And you know, I sometimes get existential dread that maybe I don't like what I'm doing anymore and shit. But then all of a sudden, the news would come up, and I would see headlines for some people doing some heinous shit in freaking sites like TikTok and Kick or Twitch or even YouTube, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I'm still doing this for the love of the game because oh my god, some people out there in the freaking social media bubble would do anything for attention, you know. Like for example, I saw some guy give birth to a baby live on Twitch before, and something about that feels like a Black Mirror episode in the making. And that somehow spilled into real life for some reason. And then there were some other people out there that are disobeying laws to get some views on Twitch and Kick. Like some people were caught like speeding their cars in the highway just to make some content online, and I'm like, what the frick is this for? What kind of content is this for, guys? Well, at least on my side of the internet, it's just people making animations for the sake of it, but I don't know why people would do those kinds of things just to get some minute form of attention on the internet. Alright, there we go. Okay, going back, circling our freaking conversation back to hobbies. I feel like in this day and age, it feels like if you're gonna get into a hobby, you might as well have to turn it into some kind of business venture in a way, or make it be known that hey, you are a big fan of a hobby in front of millions of people online, or else you won't enjoy it whatsoever. I feel like that's becoming more of how we approach hobbies nowadays. It's no longer a private matter when oh I just like this for the sake of it. There's now more of a movement wherein people will start doing hobbies like collecting or playing music. On the internet, and they will turn it into like a freaking hobby. They will turn it into a freaking business venture in a way. Will ever stopping to consider, oh, do I still kind of like this just for the sake of it? If I guess a good question that sometimes ponders me right now is if I don't not have this YouTube channel in my freaking account right now, in my own Google account right now, will I still be able to enjoy the act of animating or making all of this stuff online on YouTube? Because I don't know, it just feels like it just feels like inauthentic whenever I make something here on this platform and think to myself, oh, I'm just doing it for the views or the likes or a crowd of people that I may or may not know who they are. And I still also kind of ask that question up to this day, do I still kind of like doing this? Which is why every now and then I sometimes draw or make something or do something like this whole animation thing offline and see if I still enjoy it. And most of the time I still kind of enjoy it in a way, just making this while I like freaking just well I don't know, I just do this thing even without you guys watching in a way. I guess the only reason why I still kind of run this YouTube channel is because freaking okay, you know, we still kind of have to like earn money in some way, and even though my videos aren't earning as much money as I wanted to, there's still a potential for it to grow in a way, because you know the last thing I want myself to be in is in a hole of bankruptcy in a way. You know, your boy needs to make money in a way, and part of it can be achieved through my college course, which is dentistry, but a part of it can also be achieved through the act of just doing the thing that I like here, which is animating and making music. Yet I kind of still sometimes question whether it is robbing the joy of me trying to enjoy this hobby, you know, once in a while. By making this thing on the internet for you guys to see, does it make it less fun for me because I'm now treating it as a job, or is it like, I don't know, is it still same old as back then? No, then again though, I feel like the reason why there might be some on-off things about when it comes to me and my hobbies here and YouTube is because I usually am too exposed to it at some points in my life. Like, I can also sometimes get tired of animating if it comes to a point that it consumes most of my schedule. I feel like most things get more or less fun the more you like, the more it sort of consumes more of your schedule in a way. I can see it even in the things I like, wherein if it starts to become more of a daily routine, it starts to get a little bit more redundant and repetitive for me. Which is why I sometimes broaden my horizons doing some other things, like, you know, making music, making websites, making games, like what I did during the summer. I feel like how I was able to like get outside of a creative block in the summer was just by making a bunch of other stuff that isn't just my animation, like Halibird Wild Skies, that game I just published a while back. That was how I was able to get outside of creative block. I guess also that I guess that's the real term to describe what I'm feeling right now when it comes to my relationship with art, with the art that I'm making in this channel. It's like sometimes I just get into a creative block because I always keep getting exposed to just the act of creating without actually stepping outside, touching grass, and exploring new avenues to refresh my love for making art here on this channel. Which is still a fun hobby for me in a way. It's just that you need to sometimes take breaks. As per usual, you can't just force yourself to be creative all the time. That will just put you in fatigue in a way. The same way an athlete would try to train every day despite the limitations of their body. Like, even though you really like the sport that you do, if you're an athlete, you're still gonna be limited to the fatigue that your body produces, as well as all the lactic acid that your body produces whenever you work out too much. So it's great to take breaks. It's great to do something else on the side while you wait for your body to recover. I guess that's why, in a way, I kind of appreciate that I have a dentistry course in the side to sort of back me up. not only for because it sort of guarantees me a job in the future or something, but there's also some kind of creative benefits to having a college course on the side while you work on your passions on the side, because it kind of exposes you to more avenues in life that you just can't get by just working on an animation project in your room for the rest of your life. That's why I still kind of like going to school in a way. Anyway, that's just fairy talk with me, your good old friend Morgan Ozpin. I don't know how to end this conversation. I'm not a freaking therapist. I'm just freaking chatting out my ass and whatever I've learned in a freaking viewing of one of Dr. K's videos from Healthy Gamer GG. You guys also watch a bunch of psychology videos on YouTube? Not the criminal psychology videos, but like just the normal videos where people just talk about how you should approach your mental health in a way. I sometimes catch myself watching those videos as well, and while I sometimes don't agree with most of them, I don't know, like to experiment a bit, see if they are right or wrong, and see how my experiences align with their teachings. And I guess most of the time I kind of see their points when it comes to some of these psychology videos. But I still take the psychology videos advice with a grain of salt, because as far as I can tell, there are the experiences of one person can't be like transferred to another person. I mean, that's the same. That's the same way we treat, we treat patients in the dentistry field when it comes to giving them medicine. You can't just give one person the same medicine as the other. You need to weigh in their own medical history, their own dental history, their special conditions and whatnot. And you can see that also happening in the field of psychology, where you just can't take one person's advice and apply it to yours. There's probably gonna be some things that you need to deal with before you can actually properly better yourself as a human person mentally. And that's why I sometimes take these psychology videos with a grain of salt. think the one video that actually made me realize that I should probably be more critical with the media that I consume is when someone was, I forgot whose name was it, but I think it was it's this channel called Answer in Progress, I think. And this video that they posted was all about how self-help books are probably not the most reliable sources of information for a person to come across. And the way they prove it is by pointing out that when it comes to most self-help books, they don't usually like properly give you the right sources behind their information. And when they do, they sometimes link you towards a source that's probably not as credible as one might think. Just think of I guess a good example of it is like Mark Manson's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and how most of the freaking sources may come from people that probably don't have a degree in psychology, and some of them are maybe even philosophy papers, which, you know, I kind of understand the importance of philosophy in our lives, but in the way that he uses philosophy in his book may not be linked to any scientific evidence that he is properly trying to convey in his book here in The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Which is why whenever I approach a self-help book, I always approach it with some level of scrutiny. I want to make sure that all sources are credible when it comes to these books, and you can't just trust some publication to differ what's right from bullshit in a way. And I guess that sort of advice sort of carried me throughout college in a way. Because I remember back then I would always be willing to accept anything that's written in Wikipedia. You know, if I'm gonna research on, I don't know, the Battle of Manila in 1912 for my history class, I'm just gonna go search up a Wikipedia article about it, copy paste all the answers there, and just put it into a Word document. Boom, send it to the teacher, fucking high grade, you know. But then fast forward to this day, I had a biostatistics class that I have to attend to, and in one of our assignments we were supposed to research on a recent outbreak that is somewhere around this time span of 2020 onwards, and we need to like gather some information about it for a video project where we just report on what our findings are on this outbreak, on this said outbreak. And it was a group project. I was assigned to a bunch of members, and they recommended me a bunch of articles that we can use for our freaking group project. And past me would think, okay, these are some good sources. We can just go with the video production. We go for the scripting. We go for the video editing and stuff all that. But present me would but me at that present moment was like, okay, what's with this freaking source right now? Why is it not telling me all the things that I need, like the I don't know, the incubation period or the prevalence period? Where is all of that? So I was like so critical about this thing that I had to like make sure that I had to like communicate this with my classmates and shit. And because of that, I was actually one of the few groups that actually got a high grade in that freaking exam, in that project. The others, I think, like sort of failed because they failed to communicate some information in their report. And I'm willing to bet that all they did was just search up a some Google keyword in some search engine somewhere and took out the first article that they found. When what they should have done is actually go to Google Scholar, search up a article over there about some outbreak. Filter it out to the most recent uh, of articles ever since 2020, and then make sure that article is published by NCBI, or else you're gonna be freaking screwed, because the most likely or not, your article would be missing some information that the teacher may want. So yeah, that was basically how I was able to approach me finding sources now. You can just rely on freaking ChatGPT to do that. Yo, what's that? You're playing Roblox right now? What is that?
Last letter. What?
It's last letter. Sorry guys, my sister just came in to play Roblox in my room. Yo, it's like Wordle or something?
Huh?
Is it like Wordle? That thing that you're playing right now? You know Wordle? You try to guess like what's the letters to a unknown word, and you see if you get the right answer.
No.
No, it's not that. Oh, it's a multiplayer game, okay.
I almost lost.
You almost lost.
Yeah, a lot of typing.
Oh well. Okay, just try to finish this up here. I think I freaking lose track of our conversation here. What the frick? Anyway, let me just draw this freaking finger. Huh? What? Whoop. Oh my god. Alright, let me just pause for a moment. I'm gonna go drink some water here. Oh my god. Shoot, I just realized I haven't eaten yet.
At lunch?
Yeah, I haven't eaten lunch yet.
I think you did.
No, I didn't. I was about to eat. I was about to cook some chicken nuggets, but I was like, nah. But you ate the beef stew, right?
Huh?
You eat beef stew.
Huh?
Did you already eat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, I won.
Hmm. Do you take your cough medicine?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. When's the last time you took cough medicine? Oh my god. Oh well.
I think somewhere at 9.
Somewhere, not what?
Somewhere at 9.
9? It's already, oh wait. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. How much, so how many times did you take, your medicine during the day?
What?
How many times should you take your medicine?
I don't know.
You don't know. Every 6 hours? 8 hours? 6 hours?
Yeah.
So... Past 6? Yeah, I think it's past 6 hours now. Okay. You took it at 9 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to take it again. Okay. My sister is taking some cough medicine because it's currently the freaking flu season here in this country. But thankfully, I don't think there's any repercussions for taking medicine too late. As compared to like taking medicine too early. When it comes to how many intervals should you take your medicine during the day? So she's taking medicine right now. But so far, no one in my family is sick. They're just having some coughs every now and then. Okay, there we go. Let me get this. Boop, 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 boop. Alright. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I think I'll be able to finish the animation by next week if I'm able to keep up with the pace that I'm at right now. As you can see, we have a lot of frames to deal with right here. Especially in this last part here. What is this? I mean, this is the time when they start walking out of the freaking frame, right? So yeah, we got a lot of things to still draw. But I'm aiming for a December release, guys. I think we can do this by December. Okay, now it's time to this. Oh yeah, there we go. Alright, maybe I'll just wrap this one last frame here, then we can call today. I'm already hitting the 2-hour 20 mark, and I'm running out of things to freaking chat here on the stream, so might as well try to finish this live stream off with this one frame, and we can call today. I'll just work on this on the freaking side here. Maybe I'll do one more stream of this before releasing the final animation on YouTube at some point. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me just freaking finish this off here. Oh yeah, I was supposed to talk about wrestling here in this freaking live stream. Let me see. There's the John Cena tournament thing that happened a little while ago, right? Or today, right? Well, I do kind of like the fact that they are promoting LA Knight right now. I still kind of like the idea of Gunther being Cena's final match. Because to me, I feel like this should be more so a John Cena's last time to shine rather than an excuse to push LA Knight into the limelight. And since this is a farewell tour, I think Gunther being, your standard heel is a great way to cap off Cena's career. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I kind of get why people are upset why LA Knight isn't part of John Cena's final feud. But then again, I kind of respect the fact that they're giving John Cena one final match to kind of represent the entirety of his career, which is more so a series of matches where he is the heel, where he is the face and his opponent is the heel. And to be fair, this sort of match kind of reminds me of one of my favorite feuds of John Cena back in the day, which is with his feud with Rusev. And if you guys don't know who Rusev is, he was this angry Russian guy that held on to this United States Championship for a considerable amount of time. I'm thinking like a majority of 2014. But then John Cena came in to do his Super Cena stuff, and I thought that as a kid, I always kind of appreciated that little storyline with John Cena in it. And I wanted like a little bit more of those kind of storylines with John Cena, where it's him against a foe that you think is unbeatable and shit. And I think I can only see that with guys like Gunther, wherein he has this impressive streak with the Intercontinental Championship. And while I know why people wish that LA Knight should be his final opponent, I feel like there's also some merit to have it be Gunther versus John Cena, in a way that it's supposed to be a way to cap off his career rather than to it be a jumping off point for another superstar to claim his glory. And also I think by making LA Knight be his final opponent, it would give people the idea that, oh, this is supposed to be John Cena 2.0, when I mean, in my own opinion, I feel like LA Knight is just his own different person. If you want to build off his career, there should be like something that should be, I don't know, built off naturally and on his own. And I don't think John Cena is the right kind of guy to make LA Knight that, to give LA Knight that push. Not to mention, I think WWE kind of learned from their mistake when they had Roman Reigns defeat Undertaker during WrestleMania 34. That was like a heelish move. Come to think of it, when you finally got Roman Reigns versus the Undertaker, so having LA Knight versus John Cena might make LA Knight be more of a heel than he normally would. So I kind of understand why they have to do it. But to give the guys merit, to anyone who wants LA Knight to be John Cena's final opponent, I can at least say that it could have led to a better storyline, but the gap between the quality of a Gunther versus John Cena match versus a John Cena versus LA Knight match, I don't see like a huge gap in between those two in between those two possible matches. Like, Gunther can still be a good wrestler, guys. Come on, he can pull up some good matches all on his own. Some that can even rival like LA Knight's matches. So yeah, I can see that. I can see why they want Gunther to be his final opponent. But anyway, I guess that's it for this stream, guys. This is the work we have made so far. Look at this guy. And I guess we are not really half. Well, yeah, we're like more than halfway through now. It's now just this last remaining bits of animation that we still need to paint. Then it's off to the voice booth to give these guys some lines. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, go read a book. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Where's the end screen? There it is.